one of my favorite brands that is on the rise currently is Roger Dubuis. Here at Berdines Watches, we have the good fortune of having a wide selection of Roger Dubuis watches, but an even greater luxury of being able to talk to Laurent, who is the head of Roger Dubuis in the Americas. Laurent, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Marco. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I guess my first question is, how long have you been with Roger Dubuis, and I guess what is your role at Roger Dubuis?
So as you said, I'm the head of Americas at Roger Dubuis. I've been with the brand for 9 years. I started in Geneva, spent there a couple of years at the manufacturer to discover more about the brands, our timepieces, our watchmakers. Then I spent 5 years in Asia, based in Singapore, and I moved to the US a little over a year ago. Been very much enjoying this market. The collectors that we have here are unbelievable, very knowledgeable about Roger Dubuis. It's a very exciting time for us.
That's awesome. First of all, just based on your experience, how does the kind of America's market differ than maybe some of your time in Asia or elsewhere in the world?
It's very interesting because the US is a very fast growing market actually, and where the brand has been present for almost since the beginning. When we were founded in 1995, Roger Dubuis came early in the US. And I think it's also a testimony to how this market is developing, how this market has also evolved, and now being very attracted by contemporary pieces that we do. And Roger Dubuis, I would say our collections between Excalibur and Excalibur Spider that represents two very different environments for our collectors.
Absolutely. So I guess getting into kind of the product and talking a little bit about the watches themselves, what would you say kind of distinguishes Roger Dubuis from other brands in the industry?
I think since Mr. Dubuis founded Roger Dubuis in 1995, his mission and the mission of the Maison has been to express watchmaking in a very contemporary way. And so he brought all his know-how from his previous experiences with other brands, namely Patek Philippe and a few others, but always wanted to express them in a contemporary way. And I think the evolution of Roger Dubuis is highlighted today by our skeletonized approach, which at the end of the day pays tribute to the work of the watchmakers. By removing the dial, we really show their work. And I think that's the evolution that we saw in the last 20, 25, 30 years actually in Roger Dubuis.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to skeleton timepieces, at the end of the day, your margin of error is zero, right? Because everything is exposed to kind of the person and the viewer who can kind of scrutinize and look at every single fine detail. And all of your watches are finished to the highest level, each timepiece having a Geneva seal, right?
Correct. So most of our production has the famous Geneva seal. When you think about it, only very few brands have this, and it has been very important for Roger Dubuis to have this, I would say, hallmark from the heart of where watchmaking comes from, which is Geneva, because you see all the various types of finishing, and at the manufacturer you would discover all those skills, and I hope that you will get a chance to visit it as well in the near future.
Absolutely, it would be amazing. I guess moving on to kind of my next question, for people maybe who aren't familiar with the brand, right? Who maybe are Roger Dubuis curious collectors, what would you say is a good starting point or a good kind of model line to look into for somebody who's maybe wants to pay a little bit closer attention to your watches?
I think a fantastic start with Roger Dubuis is with the Excalibur Monobalancier in titanium. It's the piece that I'm actually wearing on a daily basis, which is a very, very light piece that has been designed completely in titanium. The bracelet is integrated in titanium as well. And it brings really that contemporary expression, that fully skeletonized approach of the watch, which brings, I would say, at the end, which summarizes the contemporary approach with that very strong watchmaking know-how, legitimacy, and Geneva seal that is integrated into this unique timepiece.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably one of, if not the best watch you guys released in 10 years in terms of like just the wearability of the watch, right? It having kind of that integrated bracelet look, which obviously has become extremely popular in the world today, but also the skeletonized dial, I think, is just executed to such a high level. You look at maybe some of the competitors or counterparts, and I think it's as finely finished, or if not as executed to a higher level than pretty much anybody in the industry. I absolutely love the Swatch, and I love also the execution you guys released this year with the tourbillon as well.
Yeah, this is a very special one, just limited to 28 pieces worldwide, and we were lucky to have one here at the Chicago boutique as well, which is, at the end of the day, Mr. Dubuis started also doing a lot of tourbillon and expressed his watchmaking skills through those flying tourbillons. And the fact that we do these limited editions, 28 pieces, also highlights the craft and skills of all our watchmakers, and I would say the focus that you have to put into creating that flying tourbillon.
Amazing. I guess obviously the watch market has evolved a lot over the last kind of 10 years or so, right? Collectors are looking at completely different things. The market has changed dramatically. Obviously, the interest in watches has changed dramatically. What would you say kind of has been the effect on Roger Dubuis watches in terms of kind of current and future outlook?
Yeah, I think if you look at the current expression of Roger Dubuis, our timepieces, as I was saying before, are contemporary, also in very expressive sizes, 42 millimeter, 45 millimeter, bringing in one of the collections, the Spider one, for example, very sporty approach. And this is where we try to mix, I think, the best of watchmaking with motorsport. For a number of years, we've been partnering with Lamborghini to release also pieces that are linked to motorsport. One of our most recent releases that we have with our partners from Lamborghini is the Excalibur Spider chronograph Verde Mantis, which pays tribute to the endurance to the endurance racing that Lamborghini has also partnered and that Lamborghini is now part of. It's the fifth generation of chronograph that we've been doing, and it's a chronograph that has been in the development for almost 10 years, I would say, in Roger Dubuis, and that piece is now very expressive, but bringing also a lot of watchmaking content. It's also got a vertical clutch. It's also got the column wheel, which really goes into watchmaking, and so we are marrying, I would say, watchmaking, motorsport, and a lot of adrenaline and a lot of color into this piece.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of an amalgamation of classical Swiss watchmaking, brought contemporary, but really kind of made in a way that's unlike anything else, I would say, in the industry today. I guess what I'm excited for is Roger Dubuis has a big anniversary coming up, 30th anniversary of the brand itself.
You're right.
Which is an amazing achievement for any brand. Any business surviving 30 years is incredible. I guess my question is, what should we expect? Any fun things that we can look forward to from the brand?
Yeah, indeed. Next year is the 30th anniversary of Roger Dubuis, and as we like to surprise the watchmaking community, I'm sure it's going to be a big year for us with exceptional timepieces and releases. But Marco, you'll have to wait until 2025 to discover that.
Sounds good. Guys, I look forward to seeing what ultimately comes out from Roger Dubuis next year. The 30th anniversary is going to be a great one, I'm sure. Laurent, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the time and, of course, your expertise on these watches. Hopefully we can do this again sometime soon.
Pleasure. Thank you, Marco.
Absolutely. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, of course, please be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I'd really appreciate if you leave us some comments down below and ask maybe Laurent some questions if you guys have any on Roger Dubuis timepieces. He can always respond to you guys there. Thanks so much for watching.